Please like and subscribe.
Welcome, collective. Welcome to Joe's Medicine Tarot. I am Joe. Here you will find a general shamanic spirit check-in. This is not a one-to-one shamanic spirit check-in. So you might not resonate with the whole reading. You might not resonate with any of the reading. Whatever you do resonate with, please take what you need and leave what you don't. If you are new to my channel, you like my style of reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. Make a comment in the comment section and let me know what you enjoyed about the reading. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you viewers for all of your views, and thank you subscribers for all of your views and your subscriptions. All of it helps the algorithm and helps my channel get found by the internet. And with that, I would like to say thank you and acknowledge the medicine keepers. These are the paid members of this channel. Okay, and with that, I'd like to begin. I also want to commend you on the work you have done that brings you to my channel. I am not your average, not to say that any tarot reader's average, but I am not a typical, I'll say typical tarot reader. So yeah, I bring in a lot of knowledge and wisdom of the higher realms. So absolutely, we're welcome to the higher dimensions of tarot. All right, let us cut the cards. I've been shuffling and shuffling and shuffling. Okay. Whoops, I started shuffling again. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna cut the cards. Okay. The truth is what is. Okay, let's begin now. So this is going to be the 7 cards. Anima. Ooh, beautiful. Anima. Ascension. Rebirth. Oh, beautiful. What's going on here? Injustice. Transformation. Transformation. Oh, I'm seeing the transference of energy here. Gnosis. And sage. Oh yes, I'm seeing the transference of energy. So what I mean when I say the transference of energy, when I see something here like anima, you are pregnant with spirit, pregnant with new vision, pregnant with new hope, pregnant with a new vision. That's what anima is. It's the feminine aspect. They say of a man, but I say of a human being. Oh, on the bottom of the deck is the Dark Magician. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Put that right there, Dark Magician. What's underneath that is you are a mystery. What's under that is sovereignty. I don't take these cards in reverse. Okay. Okay. I didn't knock the camera off. All right. So that's what I see is some sort of a new vision, almost like impregnated with new creativity. You know, that's what the Empress is all about. Is about either having a baby, having a physical baby, or having a career baby, or a new spiritual path baby, or some sort of a new endeavor, or the inception of it. So that's what I'm seeing with anima. Then there was some sort of an ascension. Oh, interesting. So within the anima, whatever happened here, you were in the process of meeting with Pluto. So you went down to meet with Lord of the Underworld and were impregnated by a part of your own spirit. That's what happens when we meet with Pluto. Pluto was Lord of the Underworld. When we go down to Pluto, whatever happened here, you could have been coming up out of a keeper current, coming up out of some sort of self-sabotage, or someone else sabotaged you or something like that, but you went through a valley, through like an underworld, and then back up on the other side, because you were ascending up out of wherever this was, whatever process this was, this anima, this impregnation, this yeah, even in the ascension, you're developing new muscles. You are developing new muscles, working muscles that you never even knew you had. The strength of your legs, the strength of your legs. You know, it's our capacity to carry the shadow. That's what develops the strength of our legs. You know, the capacity to carry the underworld within you. Because we all do. We all carry heaven and hell. The Tibetan Book of the Dead makes this very clear. And we descend and fluctuate between 6 different layers of consciousness. And the hell realm is one of them. So is the God realm. You know, you've got the hell realm, the hungry ghost realm, the animal realm, the human realm, the jealous God realm, and then the God realm. And these are just, you know, titles according to the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Who knows what they're called on the other side? You know, like, who knows? And there's probably even more than that. Many more than that, but they're probably so subtle that we don't even notice them. These 6 layers are already subtle. So it's like the subtle dimensions have their own subtle dimensions also too. So, you know, it gets into fractals and all that too. So, but we're not going to go there. So you're developing new legs coming up out of some sort of an experience with your own underworld where you collected a piece of yourself. What happens in the underworld is that we release illusions that no longer serve us, and it's often the illusion that we've employed that brings us into the underworld. Do you see what I'm saying? That's when we find out this is bullshit. This isn't true. This did not give me the return on my investment. And whatever this is, whatever happened, maybe you met somebody and you quit your job and went and moved in with this person to find out that they're a con artist, that they were a liar, they lied about everything. When there were certain feelings you had that told you these things, but you were busy with your allegiance to an illusion about relationships. This is just an example, but it's something like that. Something where you were having an allegiance to some sort of a belief system and it failed you. It failed you because you failed to see the dynamics that were right in front of you. I've been here, man, and I know exactly what this is about. I've experienced this many times. Okay, many times. It's like it's coyote medicine. Okay. So you knowing the truth now lets you give the illusion to Pluto. It's almost like vitriol. It's exactly vitriol, actually. Vitriol is when you go into the earth and give up the philosopher's stone, which is an illusion, to discover the true hidden stone, which is you. Okay? So there's ascension. You're developing now new muscles in your legs. You haven't used these muscles before because you didn't need to. Now you do. You don't have certain illusions that you're leaning on as canes or crutches. You don't have that anymore. So now you're having to develop the muscles in your legs to climb up out of this, coming into a rebirth. But once you've had the rebirth, whatever this is, even the act of your descent and then coming out is an act of shamanic ritual. So I'm feeling like you're already linking into your shamanic capacity within your own life. It doesn't have to be like all tribal with candles and drums. Like maybe it is, that's beautiful, but it doesn't have to be. It can be within the quiet privacy of your own mind and of your own experience. Shamanism, it used to be very tribal. It still is on many, many levels, but it's also becoming very individual. It is part of the individuation process. Okay, absolutely. And intimate. That's it. Thank you, Creator. It's more, shamanism is now becoming more of an intimate experience. It's still tribal. We're always going to be part of the tribe, no matter if it's family, a workplace, city, community, whatever. We're always going to be part of a community, of a tribe. The thing is not giving up your sovereignty while in the tribe. You're going to be in the tribe, but not of the tribe. But you're not pushing against the tribe either. You're just holding space in it. You're just holding space for yourself and also for the tribe. It's doing both, So here we go. You go through some sort of a rebirth. And so the transference is in comes the injustice. In comes the injustice. So whatever happens with your rebirth, whatever took place in your rebirth. Oh, this is starting to get intense here. Okay, I want to do some clarification here. But what I'm seeing here is there was a transference of energy, some sort of an injustice happened that had to happen as part of your shamanic initiation. You even connecting with this part of yourself is connecting with the shamanic energy. And as soon as you connect with the shamanic energy, in comes the transference of energy. In comes the betrayal. In comes the injustice. And this is the spine of the reading. Either side of these are the wings, okay? So you are, holy shit. This makes perfect sense. This is also in line with the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Because here you have the underworld, okay? The underworld. And you're coming up out of the underworld onto this plane. And then we have the rest of the ascension. So with the injustice, with the injustice, that right underneath injustice, there we go. You were dealing with some kind of a dark magician, somebody who was very manipulative. I don't feel this was you. I feel like this was somebody that brought in the injustice. Maybe you connecting with a certain energy that you got impregnated with when you were in the underworld, whatever. When you were in your lowest place, whatever hope you reconnected to, whatever aspect of yourself that you abandoned a long time ago, you have reconnected with this part of yourself. And somebody watching you emerge in a new energy, oh my gosh, you've been the scapegoat. I'm getting the energy of a scapegoat, because whoever's seeing you emerge is seeing you emerge with power, and they want to kick you back down, get back down there. You know, scapegoats are born, the whole family, whether you're born into the family or adopted into the family knows that the scapegoats, they call you the scapegoat because they know that you have intense light. You can see them. You can see the family members before they can see themselves, and they know it. And it makes them very uncomfortable, and they have to pile a bunch of shit onto you. You know, like you're too light. You have too much light. We got to darken you up a bit. We got to dim your light so that we can't see ourselves because you're so bright. Okay, so that's what that is. So that's what I'm seeing. And whoever this was as a dark magician, I'm feeling like, holy shit, are you serious? I'm feeling like you were friends with this person or family members, or maybe you were even married to this person, who knows, like, but there was some sort of an intimacy, some sort of a trust, a bond, a connection. But you coming up out of your underworld, you're not the same person you were you're not the same person you were when you went into the underworld. Now you're coming out with a new aspect of yourself that has been activated and now online. And to seal this, to put the seal upon this, is required the injustice. So whoever this is has a contract with you to bring in the injustice. They're not even aware of this. The gods have used this person to seal you in. They're not doing this of their own accord. Okay, let me say this again. They're not anointing you of their own accord. The gods are anointing you using this person, using the unconsciousness and their intention to harm you. The gods are using this energy to anoint you into your shamanic practice. Okay? Sometimes this injustice will have happened way back here. You know, when you take a look at it, some shamans have near-death experiences when they're children, and it's not, and that's one of the major rite of passages. You will go through many rites of passage, but this is kind of a rite of passage for you to get through and transform through the struggle, through the uncomfortability of this injustice, through the catharsis. Okay, they're asking me to bring in the 5 stages of death. Oh, I don't want to bring this in, but I have to. They're asking me to bring this in. So with the injustice and the catharsis, this is the catharsis of the injustice. Is the 5 stages of death. And it doesn't have to happen in the order that everybody knows, that many people know that it's in, which is the first layer. The first level is you deny what's happening to you. And then you get angry about it. So the first one is denial. The second one is anger. The third one, you begin to bargain with whatever's happened to you. The fourth one is you begin to grieve. And the fifth is you accept it. Doesn't have to happen in that order. It can happen in any order. You can take the little deck that it's brought into and shuffle it. It doesn't matter. But this is the way of catharsis. It's the 5 stages of death. So there's something that you are letting go of. And it's not to accept how weak you are or how small you are. This is to accept a shaman is the carrier of shadow. The shadow has a lot of medicine, so does the light. But a shaman also carries badger medicine. And badgers grow up in the underworld. They grow up in the underworld. They grow up in an alcoholic home where there's domestic violence. Maybe you grew up in a war-torn country. You know? But badger medicine is indicative of medicine healers because you know the truth. You can see in the dark and you have language for what you see and you will speak it, especially when you are seeing injustice to someone else. You'll be like, hey, that's enough of that. No more of that. Okay, and you'll be able to speak to this and mean it. That's why badgers are fierce. Badgers will rip your friggin' belly open and with unapologetically. So whoever you're dealing with knows you are a badger. That's the first thing I get. And whoever this is now I feel for many of you, this may not resonate with all of you, but for many of you, whoever this dark magician is will now dissolve and disappear out of your life, leaving you with the medicine to transcend. Some sort of, they're saying poison or toxin, but there was great medicine. You know, psilocybin can be seen as a poison. Ayahuasca can be seen as a poison because it's a psychoactive plant. It goes into the body and interrupts an already toxic process, you know, especially if you're coming out of the modern culture. Oh my God. We're not doing well. We're not doing very well in the I don't mean me, but look around. You know, it's not doing well. Also, this dark magician is connected to devil energy. And the only real creativity a devil has is to steal, kill, and destroy. They'll copy you. They'll copy. A devil can only imitate what it sees. It can't create of its own accord. The only creativity a devil has is to steal, kill, and destroy of that dimension, of the dimension of the underworld, because it's a devil. Okay? So this is a devil energy that you were dealing with within someone. They will disappear out of your life now. They know to face you, they will get gutted. They know to face you, to come and speak to you, they will be gutted. Badger medicine in the face of injustice, look the fuck out. That's all I can say. Fire in the hole. Okay, fire in the hole. I'm not even fucking kidding. So whoever this is going to dissolve out of your life now. For those of you who are into the shamanic capacity that resonate with this, your transformation now in you transcending a toxic vibration, some sort of a toxic energy that brings you into some sort of gnosis. I feel like you've come into some sort of archetypal knowing about this toxin. And it's released you from the personal attack, from making it personal. It's no longer personal. Okay, it's the first card. Coming into gnosis, coming into knowledge, the knowledge. Oh, it's like the knowledge of the laws of the universe. Like whoever I'm speaking to, you are this is not your first rodeo. You've been on this path, if not for decades. You've been doing this work for a very long time. Whatever this gnosis is, it's like you understanding the fundamentals of reality. You believed, I feel like, before you came through this anima underworld process, you had believed much of what the culture said. We're born to come into the world, to get a job, have a family, grow old and die. And that's it. That's all there is. You know, and that worked, and you fulfilled that role until that role could no longer hold you. Can you hear what I'm saying? You became too big for that role. You became too big for that dimension now. You don't fit in that Susie homemaker. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with being a parent and having a family. That's absolutely. But there's something more coming online that is meant to come online. So, and you can still have your family and your connections and all of that. I'm not saying anything is wrong about that. I'm just saying it's like Dolores Cannon. You will finish certain roles before you enter into the shamanic role. So maybe you've had to raise your kids. Maybe you've had to finish your career. Maybe you've had certain roles and contracts that you had to fulfill, complete, before you could come into this. But I feel like the shamanic role has been unfolding beneath all of the roles. All the roles you played were investments of knowledge and consciousness into your shamanic capacity. Okay? And whether you were aware of this or not. Okay? Oh my gosh. And on the bottom of the deck is the High Priestess. So absolutely, this is the creation and the forming of your High Priestess energy. The development of your High Priestess energy. Okay, so in the underworld, yes, the polar bear. I feel like whatever you're doing, whatever you've been doing, see, the bear is bear medicine. Bears are bears. Doesn't matter if you're polar bears, black bears, grizzly bears, whatever kind of bears, panda bears, koala bears, whatever. Doesn't matter what kind of bear you are. A bear is a bear, and they carry incredible medicine. So the polar bear, meaning white, whatever you've come through, you've been doing purification, whether you've been doing rituals, whether you've been in therapy, whatever you've been doing, fasting, doing cleanses, I have no idea, but they're saying fasting and cleanses also, meditation, ritual work, even therapy, whatever, has been purifying you, readying you for this deep descent. I feel like this descent was greater, has been one of the hardest descents, and you are going to collect the Three of Cups. Something in you, like I say, going down into the underworld. This is indicative of keeper current. So what's a keeper current? A keeper current is a current that is found in rivers, in deep rivers. And if you fight a keeper current in true life and you fall into one and try to fight it and swim to the top of the water, it'll drown you. So it requires a level of trust to surrender to the current and allow it to take you down to the bottom, and it'll bring you back up on the other side. So that's what I'm feeling is this keeper current. You're not only, oh yes, the shaman swims in the same ocean as this schizophrenic. The difference is a shaman knows what to do. A shaman will dive like this polar bear is diving. A schizophrenic does not know what to do, and the schizophrenic will drown. A schizophrenic needs to be brought to the shore, to hard land, to hard ground, standing on solid ground. Okay, so that's it. You're diving to the depths to get what you need in the Three of Cups. Something that you buried here many, 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 many years ago. Your ascension now, after collecting a piece of yourself in exchange for an illusion that no longer works, that is no longer true for you, and you're letting go of it. You know, it's like a good parent. When they take something away from a child, they replace it with something else. Okay, and that's what I'm feeling is that the creator is, you are taking your higher soul, your higher self, your own Godhead and goddess head, has removed an illusion from your life and is bringing in your truths that you let go of about yourself and about your life a long time ago. I feel like you had to in order to fulfill the roles of survival, raising a family. Maybe this is part of your career. Maybe this is some sort of a contract. Maybe this was a marriage. Who knows? But it was some sort of a contract that you had to fulfill. And that required you letting go of certain visions, hopes, and dreams about yourself. Well, now that these illusions, not illusions, these contracts are done, and the illusions that were true at the time, but now you're too big. They're coming apart at the seams, you know? So you're letting go of it and taking on, picking up what you've had to let go of. Now with the ascension and you developing new muscles within your legs, within your body to climb up out of your own underworld, to climb up out of the negativity of your mind, to climb up out of the lower dimensions of our experience, will require a lot of inner work and new integration of these parts. See how he's holding a pentacle also too. So you are integrating these parts into your physical reality by having to go within and do the inner work, whatever that is, the inner work of seeing what thoughts you generate, seeing what's where you are, checking in with yourself, having a knowing of your own inner world. Okay. And the rebirth you come out of, that you come into, coming out of the hermit energy into the rebirth, as you've been integrating this new energy that you picked up from the underworld, you're bringing it into your life, and there's now a rebirth, knowing that you cannot commit to an old way. You are no longer committing to a former self. Because you're looking back into the past. And there is a rebirth where you were not committing, that's what I'm feeling, is this is a conscious understanding that you can never be who you were. This is a former part of yourself that got you to where you needed to go, but it can't come with you now. And you can't commit to it now either. Committing to a former part of yourself just feels wrong. It just feels wrong. It feels like you're going backwards. It doesn't feel true. It doesn't feel, when it feels true, when it feels aligned. It feels out of alignment. It does not feel in alignment with what you have picked up here. So I'm feeling you will no longer ever commit to a former part of your past. I'm feeling like it has to do with this dark magician also. So I'm feeling like a dark magician was a part of your past, was maybe even a friend at one point in time, a family member, a coworker, a sibling, whoever, somebody that you were bonded with who knows you, who knows you. And that's how they were able to bring in this injustice. So you going through the rebirth, knowing you cannot commit to the past the way you have been, then this injustice comes in. Somebody who was very, very sticky, very cunning, very deceptive. I feel like this person saw your ascension. And like I said, you're like a scapegoat, wanted to kick you back down, wanted to keep you down, wanted to keep you confused, wanted to try to sabotage you or what you had. Whether they went after your life, went after you, I feel like they went after your life in some way, in some capacity, and tried to fuck it up. And this person will now disappear out of your life. Because they know to come and talk to you, they will be gutted, and they know it. So the transformation now, the Six of Swords. Standing in the land of the dead, what the injustice does is cast you back into the underworld. Back into the underworld, back into... And I feel like it is whatever this person stirred up in you, whatever this dark magician stirred up within the injustice that brought in, I feel like it made a whole bunch of belief systems about yourself that is connected to what you are no longer willing to connect to or commit to. I feel like it brought that up to the surface. The old parts of yourself that gives you the opportunity to now physically transmute this. To mentally, emotionally, you're becoming aware of who you are. So if you find that some of the worst parts of yourself come up, be gentle with yourself. Don't feed it, but don't beat the crap out of yourself either. Just observe yourself. Okay, and in this time, as like a bird, you've been like grounded. You've been grounded. It's like you're in the land of the dead. Charon, through this betrayal, is like the ferryman that takes the living after they've died into the land of the dead. Now you are coming back out of the land of the dead. And I don't think this person cast you in there. I'm feeling like whatever illusion this was brings it back up so you can tell the truth about it. I don't feel this person and their deception cast you into the land of the dead. I feel like a piece of your soul, a piece of your own intellect and a part of your experience, knowing you can't commit to a part of yourself anymore. And maybe this is connected to your own also dark magician also too. This is like a two-layered, this represents somebody else, but it's also the part of you. I'm feeling that was part of your shamanism. I mean, your self-sabotage, your saboteur, self-destruction, parts of yourself that kept you small and helpless and helpless in a state of learned helplessness. Yes, and you're not committing to that anymore. So I'm feeling that whatever happened with this dark magician and the injustice brought up the old dynamics of yourself that you refuse to, that you do not want to commit to anymore. But it's like making gold. And the goldsmith is boiling the molten metal of gold, and all the impurities are now coming to the top to be scraped off and to be recycled into something else, maybe to be, I don't know, cast into the garden as a fertilizer or something. Who knows? But they're to be used as something else. But whatever it is, it's leaving you more purified, more purified, more integrated and aligned with what is authentically you. Okay? This transformation allows you in the place where you were grounded. You need to be grounded at this point. You need to be grounded. You know, that's it. Yes, and it's for your protection, because when we're in a toxified state, we can't digest high voltage knowledge. We can't digest high voltage consciousness, upper realm truth, upper realm insights and inspirations. We can't digest it. It feels like acid. Okay, so whatever this is, whatever grounds you after this injustice is for your protection. Okay, it's to help you work through whatever you need to work through. Giving yourself the time to work through and react. Rah, rah, you fucking motherfucker. Like, just whatever you need to do, whatever you need to express. Rah, and yet at the same time, like, why does this have to happen? Like, your whole kind of expression of yourself that needs to come out, that needs to be expressed. It doesn't mean you have to act on it and create fucking war, but just to express it, even if it's painting a picture of a black fucking war picture or something like that, you know, something that reflects how you feel on the inside, on the six of swords in reverse. You know, that reflects the emotional baggage that this brought up. You're aware now of the baggage you're still dealing with, the unresolved issues of your life, that you weren't ready to transform until now. And I feel like you come into whatever you do between here and here, you come into a lot of gnosis and knowledge that helps you transform. Look at you looking right back at this. Absolutely. So the Knight of Pentacles is moving forward very methodically, working very hard on yourself, taking responsibility for yourself, and making yourself very efficient with your energy. You don't have to spend all this time in the negativity. You're no longer carrying psychic weight. The psychic weight that was attached to this emotional baggage that came up to the surface with this injustice. So I'm feeling like it's the saboteur in you that made your friendship or relationship with this dark magician possible. But you weren't aware of it back then. You thought you weren't aware this was the saboteur. This was the operating system that you were in. You weren't aware of this until you go through this catharsis and go through the underworld and back up. You know, when whatever this is like a decade of work, probably even longer. This is not any 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Like, no. Okay. And you're now transcending very dense energy within you with the unresolved baggage and unresolved issues that have been needing transition, that you've been transitioning, you've been transforming. The transformation of the unresolved issues brings you more into your own gnosis, attracts new knowledge to you, attracts new people to you that carry new knowledge. New, not like this gnosis. This is gnosis. This is knowledge. Knowledge that activates the soul. This is not just information. Information is, what color car do you have? What color's your house? Oh, what kind of shoes are you wearing? Like, that's information, okay? Knowledge, on the other hand, gnosis, will activate your soul or deactivate part of your psyche. Okay, like, I'm not even kidding. So that's it. This gnosis and you coming into contact with more of your own gnosis brings you into the sage that you know that you are. Yes, and I feel like you are you're still disconnecting from a former part of yourself, a former way of being, but you're also in a deep state of contemplation. Like the turtle, you know how to pull within and go into hermit mode. You know how to pull within and go quiet and just sit in silence. That's why I say the work you've done to come into my channel, because you can't just enter into Buddhism if you're traumatized and sit in silence, because you're going to be met with all of your unresolved baggage, that's going to come up in your mind, and most people will push against it or stand up and get out of meditation and start doing the laundry, start cleaning the fridge, start distracting themselves away from what they know they need to do. So that's it. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you really deal with a lot of whatever has come up to the surface from this deceptive injustice from the dark magician. But whatever this is, like I say, it holds the tension of two opposites, like the spiral that the high priestess carries. See the spiral she holds in her heart? The spiral is indicative of conflict. It's also indicative of unending cosmic evolution. We evolve through conflict. That's what this is all about. So the high priestess does not conquer one side of her psyche in order to cling to the other. She holds the tension and the balance between both. Between the black Boaz and the white Yakin, between unity and between duality, between mercy, between severity. Okay? So she holds the balance between both. And that's why this person, I think, knows that you're not polarizing to this side or to that side. You hold the balance. And that's why this dark magician is going to dissolve out of your life. They know they cannot come and talk to you because you will gut them. Even if I'm not saying you're trying to be vicious or mean or anything. Just the fact of your capacity of truth will lay this person open, will slay this person in the spirit, in their spirit. Their spirit does not have the capacities that yours does. That's why they will never, ever, ever face you. Okay, and I feel like it is determined this way from the gods, because when you're dealing with certain types of betrayals, that this is like a contract. This is like a contract, And I feel like whatever contract this is, it is destined, and this was written for your growth. For your growth. I don't feel this person, maybe for their growth too, but their growth is like a rock. Your growth is much more faster, much faster, they're carrying intense psychic weight. Their growth compared to yours is like the growth of a stone that becomes a crystal over millions and millions and millions of years. Okay, their consciousness is far denser than yours. Your growth is like just transformation of a human being, a transformation of something that is not as dense as a rock. It is the transformation of, okay, like a butterfly, a caterpillar into a butterfly. Absolutely. So that's, interesting. And there's a snake here at the bottom. A snake, a mouse, a rabbit, a deer. Very, very beautiful. Okay. And I feel like even though in your sage energy, you're no longer contributing to a former part of yourself, but you still carry the wisdom of that self inside of you, like the turtle's shell. It becomes part of your shell, part of the turtle's shell. See the turtle that's come down to the water to drink, and I think there's another one under the water right here. It's coming to meet the other turtle. But either way, there we go. Either way, I feel like you come down to the water, your turtle capacity is in contemplation. And see how the turtle is also facing into the past. I feel like you're going to spend some time contemplating on your life, contemplating. You're in like a pivot point. You're in a new dimension of sage. You are the sage of your life. Maybe you're the sage of your community, you know? But you had to go through your own death and rebirth to get to this point. Okay, let's pull a demonic card. What is the demonic energy creator? That is the opposition. Oh, there it is. Upside, right side up and face up. Number 73, the sword. Ace of Swords. Oh, Ace of Swords. Okay, because High Priestess energy carries the balance between the dark and the light. So yes, that's one of the other reasons why this person will never ever face you, is because they know you carry the harness of the High Priestess energy. So that's what I mean about that you will speak the truth from this place. And it comes in, your truth will come in like a tower. Look at the point of the sword and the light on the point. It looks like it's lighting up some sort of a ritual or pointing down to a seal, some sort of a seal, a pentagram or a seal. Looks like it's all written in Latin. Very interesting. So the Ace of Swords, this is like an affirmation of justice for you. I'm feeling like I don't think you're aware of who you are. I think that you're still in the throes of going through your resolving any unresolved baggage. I don't think that you can clearly see how strong you are, how powerful you are. I think you're so used to seeing yourself in a small version of yourself. So the Ace of Swords, this is Pisces energy. This is also Libra. Yes, this is the justice to the injustice. So whoever you are, see, I feel like this person employed really dark energy like I said, this is like a dark magician. They employed dark energy to overcome you. It's so interesting. Like, this is like a devil energy. Lie, cheat, and steal. Because they could not come to you to work this out in a clean manner. They could not work out whatever their intentions were toward you and about you and the way they saw you. They couldn't take responsibility for how they saw you. They needed you to take responsibility for how they saw you. Can you see what I'm saying here? And however they saw you was connected to all of their unresolved baggage from their life. But they needed you to carry that. That's what I mean. They gave you all their power. That's why they can't come to you. I feel like this person has always been intimidated of you. Even if you guys were friends or siblings at one point in your life, I feel like you always knew this. You could always tell that there was something untrustworthy about this friend. There was something untrustworthy about this sibling or this coworker or family member, spouse, whoever, whatever this was, whoever this is. Okay, what is the angelic card, Creator? Salaya, the Seven of Cups. So this corresponds to God, the just judge. Contemplation makes the truth known in legal proceedings. Yes, 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 yes. So interesting how we end on contemplation. Very much. So some sort of angelic energy that you are tapped into within yourself, because you are the high priestess. You hold the tension between the dark and the light. Okay? Get my books. Okay, number 73. Intellectual source. So this is about intellectual source, mind, and mind. Yes, yes, okay. The other reason why this person can't come towards you is because your intellectual source is vast and it stretches into the underworld. So, like I said, you are a badger medicine that grew up in the underworld under the root system of the collective unconsciousness of your family, your community, whatever. You were some sort of a scapegoat that holds the shadow of your community. You also know the truth of the community. Look at the sword. It looks like a sword of lightning. It looks like a lightning. It reminds me of a tower, actually. High voltage energy that comes in about the shadow, from the shadow, about the shadow. Okay, so I feel like this is why this person cannot come towards you, is because, yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine this sword? That's what I mean. You will slay them in the spirit. You will slay them in the spirit. They know it. They do not have the strength to come up against you. They have not done the work you have done. They have not gone the distance you have. They do not have the same contract as you. I feel like for a little while, you guys, like Dark Magician, you guys were on a similar path of spirituality. And I feel like this person got kicked out. Maybe they kicked themselves out because they knew they don't have what it takes to go the distance. They don't have what it takes to stay clean and go the distance. You know, what I mean by this is, yes, it's like this person, that's why, because this person throws rocks and then hides their hands. That's what I mean. They don't have a relationship with their dark side. Even though they're a dark magician and they're covered in shadow, they're not aware of it. They think they're covered in light. It's like Martha Beck, who talks about people that lie that don't know that they're lying. They put on the mantle of deception because it was taught to them by their parents, their community, their friends, everyone else buys into the same bullshit. And they're all covered in darkness, but they think it's light. And that's true, you know, when we first wake up and come into our own awakening, we always awaken in the dark. We awaken into our own shadow. We have to see ourselves through our shadow before we can see ourselves through our light. Okay. And that's okay. So now, where's my book? Here it is. Okay. And this is number 47. Asalaya. Okay. Asalaya, 7 of Cups. Virtues. Psalm 92, verse 5. O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. Yeah, so that's the other thing, is that you're as low, as deep into the underworld that you will be taken, as low down as you will be taken, you will be elevated as equally high. Okay, you can't know the heights of yourself and of your own human experiences unless you know the depths. And I feel like this person is a fake, as fake. This person's fake. They spiritually bypass their shadow, and that's why they only operate in shadow. They think they're spiritually bypassing the shadow. It's like trying to eradicate the mind, and you're using the mind to eradicate the mind. You're only going further into the mind. Okay, and that's what I mean. And they're not aware of it. It's like they're deceived by their own game. And that'll work until it doesn't. You know what? Some people never come out of this. Some people maybe are not called to, and maybe even if they are, they will self-destruct because of their fear of the light. Okay. Those born under Asalaya will have an agreeable character and will desire the acquisition of secret knowledge. Oh, beautiful. Will acquire the acquisition of secret knowledge. So yes, I feel like you are a person that has always sought out knowledge. Like I said, the blueprints of the universe. When I was first unfolding this, you were understanding of knowledge of the universe, fundamental laws of the universe, of how things operate. You may have been carnal at one point, but that no longer housed you. You needed new knowledge now to sustain your soul. You know, Asalaya will help you with the praising of God and the growing towards Him. Asalaya governs justice and makes the truth known in legal proceedings. Soul guardian for those born from 3:20 p.m. to 3:40 p.m. Moral guardian for those born on May 5th, July 16th, September 26th, December 7th, or February 17th. Physical guardian for those born from November 5th to 9th. So very interesting. So yeah, so holy smoke. So the fact that you can carry high voltage knowledge and carry the sword of the deep, the sword of the shadow. And you don't, and you operate as the high priestess. You carry, when you put two opposites together, you get a spiral. Both dimensions of the spiral are equally true. Okay. So you employ darken the light consciously, clearly, intentionally. You are entering, you carry the medicine of the high priestess. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this reading. Job well done. Job well done. You are going to be ending up in if you are not here already, you will be. Keep moving forward. Keep doing the work. Keep honoring the directions that Spirit calls you in. You will be fine. Alrighty, you guys, you take care, and I'll see you in the next reading. Okay.